This is Jeremiah with part two of New Covenant. What is the New Covenant? What is Protestant Christianity? Why the King James Bible? What is the doctrine here? What are the set of principles? And I'm going to get into that right now. Now, I gave a video introduction into this ministry talking about a lot of basic overarching principles of Christianity and letting you know what kind of ministry this is and what I focus on here. And red letters and the King James, which I have right here. I just got another beautiful red letter edition. I'll probably have that one up here. I'll have two giant, we won't go into that, but that's my own administration here. Let Jeremiah is on fire here. He's rejoicing together with you in the Lord Jesus Christ. And we're just lifting up holy hands unto our God as we seek to please Father here and always do the things that please Him. And we greet you in the only name given amongst men. The name of this ministry is New Covenant. And the reason why is because I focus on the New Covenant quite a bit here. We focus on the red letters. We focus on the red letters here quite a bit. And I've always, I went to Paul a lot, but we focus on the red letters here a lot, and we go to Paul quite a bit too. So, we're going to focus on the New Covenant quite a bit, obviously, books 40 through book 66. And we will focus on those books most of the time. Now, explaining to you what Christianity is in the New Covenant here, let's get to that in one moment. We greet you in the only name given. There's only one name given amongst men by which you must be saved. You don't need any other names. If anybody tells you that, ask them to leave or cut them off. I wanted to talk about a few things here. As you know, as a Bible teacher, there's 1,000 things that I have. I have over 500 videos available now. And let me talk about this for a moment. We're segueing into a matrix. We're segueing into having 33 or more playlists available so that when we read through the Bible, we'll go to the playlist. You see the point? And I'll give an example in a minute, but I'm going to have 33 playlists, and of course we have the general playlist. You can get all the videos on the playlist. However, I'm going to have playlists that categorize the lessons, okay? So that when you go to number 1, you'll go to what is agape, what is this love of Jesus Christ, what is this character, what is this high love, agape, and I go into that as the first few lessons that are available here, okay? And I guess that's numbers 3, 4, 87, 130, 28. In other words, I'm going to be referring to the lessons I already have up there when we start reading through the Bible, okay? And I like having the precision. I just finished 22, and we're looking at possibly calling that bless Father, bless you. And what is, in other words, what is blessed, and why do I have so many videos on blessed? We have a gazillion. And the thing is that I'm very happy to share with you that we're going to teach a lot about what the idea of blessed means and why it's so important to take time to go through what it means and so forth. So, but 22 will probably be bless Daddy, bless you. I'll probably call it something like that. So, bless Father, bless Daddy, bless you. See? In other words, we're prioritizing blessing Father first, not blessing me first. It doesn't mean you can't say bless me first. There's nothing wrong with that. However, there can be a problem. That's the issue. And when we say bless Father first, it gets us in line. It's the best thing to do, and that's what this ministry does here, is to focus on pleasing Father first, not us. I don't want 100 books from the bookstore on how to gimme, which is very popular. Me magazines in the grocery store. I don't want any of that. I don't want any of that. I want Bless Daddy first books. This ministry focuses on blessing Father first. It doesn't mean that we throw ourselves in the trash can or nothing like that. That's not the point. The point is that we are structuring ourselves and our ministry, our lives, around prioritizing Father first. Daddy comes first. As soon as you wake up in the morning, in the afternoon, and in the evening, Father comes first. The Lord Jesus Christ comes first. Everybody else get in line. If there's a problem, we say in America, do us a favor and shut your mouth and get in line. Daddy comes first. If you have any other attitude, we'll kindly ask you to disappear. That's what this is all about. You want to get in the way of us prioritizing Father first, and Bible study and prayer and so forth, and worship music, then we want you to disappear. We want you to get on board or get off board. I think the Greek word is epimeno or something. My Greek friends don't get upset. Carlos Irfate, I think is how you say welcome in Greece, but no, this is prioritizing Bible study like all day, as what they say in California, in the valley at the beach, like wow, like way, no way. We're here to, this is heavy Bible study here. This is lots of reading. This is a librarian life here, and a lot of people are going to turn me off. I could imagine, they're gonna turn me off when they see that this is not candy coated, Christianity per se. Where women can wear tight clothing and go to Starbucks and flirt and then go to church or something. All kind of wild stuff going on. That this is real Amish. Put on modest clothing. Go to bed early kind of thing. Mind your own business. I don't want a whole lot of money. I don't want to talk about owning airplanes or gold toilets or whatever, or wearing men with snake boots on and pink poodles over there around the corner where I used to preach over there, where I used to minister in Orange County. They had the church around the corner, the wacky bunch, always getting in trouble with a lot of homosexual activity, or holding on to money when they should be sharing, and not opening up their bowels of compassion and mercy, and just what a wild bunch, and so forth. Well, God can save some of them too, or we hope all of them. Let's put it that way. Anyway, let's move on. I'm going to get into this germane, what I have planned here. It's right in front of me here. We're going to get into it, and let's get into it right now. I had a couple other things I wanted to say. In an introduction, I can bounce all over the place because there's so much going on here. But I don't want to bounce around too much. I wanted to share that this is like the middle of this ministry I mentioned before. Should the Lord not come back soon, any day now, it's going to give me time to occupy and to labor, to partake and to operate. So there you go. I want to inhale the love of God, and I want to exhale and articulate and share the love of God that has been given to me freely. I want to freely give that away, and that's the point. And I'm very happy with 1 through 11 now. We're going to start reading through the Bible. That has been the goal here from day one. I thought that this is where this was going, And I was right, that when we get over 500 videos, when we get to 500 plus, we're going to start focusing on reading through the Bible. Then we will be referring to our playlists and the lessons, as opposed to having a gazillion lessons that don't have a lot of very strict scriptural analysis. And that's where this is going. And it's good to have it this way. I think it's been a wonderful trip. I think that to share with you quickly about the first 500 videos, for those of you who have not, who have or have not perused the videos, I'm here to share with you that I am very happy with the way things have gone here. We're headed into a lot of scriptural reading now and more precision now. As a matter of fact, I have 1 through 11 up here now. It's ready to go. I'm very happy that 1 through 11 are ready to go. So, and I will have a preview of 1 through 11 up there for you in this introduction. There should be at least 12 introductory videos here at about 30 minutes a snap, crackle pop, and I will explain what this ministry is about. I will explain for you and delineate for you the 33 playlists and give you each subtext. For example, number 1 is high love. The number 1 playlist is high love. What is this high love? What is this agape? What kind of personality? What can you share with me? Can you know what? How do I? Then it goes to 1.2 is how do I abide? So it's what is it? How do I abide? How do I build it? 1.3, 1.4 is how do I keep it, right? And 1.5 is keeping all of this alive. 1.5 is locomotion. It is taking in and exhaling truth, and that's what the love of God is. It's taking in and giving. It's experiencing. It's respiring the gospel. That's how you stay alive. That's how a man becomes a dying man and becomes a man who shall never see death. And that is to take in the commandments of Jesus Christ and then to share those commandments. That person will never die. So, and that person is engaging the love of God. That's 1.5. So that's how I'm going to do this, okay? And that's how this ministry is going to unfold. And it's wonderful. I'm very happy that this is happening. Because I want to read through the Bible, and I want to do that, and I want to focus on the New Testament, Psalms, Proverbs, and Isaiah probably, pretty exclusively in this ministry with Isaiah, and that's going to be basically it. Everything else to me is advanced or another ministry, not mine. Let me give you, like the gentleman I just saw on the web, who focuses on the Old Testament all the time, basically. Well, that's a wonderful ministry, and I might have time for that later on, but not now, because I'm going to focus on sound doctrine and the commandments of Jesus Christ and the doctrine of the Christian church through Paul the Apostle. That is what I'm going to focus on. Later on down the road, there may be more Hebrew or Greek lessons, like this gentleman has on the web. I don't think I'll have any more time for science. I have tons of science already up there for you, and that's under a playlist number 25. Pretty soon you'll find everything pertaining to science under 25. I have a gazillion lessons on, well, a gazillion, but I have quite a few lessons on science because the Bible talks about science a lot. And since I taught science in high school and so forth, I think that I have a lot to give, to share, and I'm very happy to do so. To clarify heaven and earth for you, okay? And the physics therein, okay? So let me give you one more example as to the playlist and how valuable this second half of the ministry is. This is the beginning of 2022, and this is real time, my time right now. You might watch this in 2023, should the Lord tarry, and I may be done or something. Who knows? But in real time, where I am sitting right now, chronologically, this is a very happy time. It's a good time because we're getting a lot of structure, a lot of organization. I have a nice template for beauty, which is a number 7 playlist here, and I have enumerated quite a few things. I think we're up to 16 or so points on beauty, okay? Which is 7.1, 7.2, 7.3, okay? And that's how we're going to do this here. And I'm very happy to do that, And let me give you one more example before I get to the introduction germane here. Let me give you another example of how having something on the wall, concrete, although it may not be omniscient, it's very, very, very valuable. They used to have a guy on TV. He used to talk about pyramids. He was a Bible teacher. In 1 minute he talked about pyramids. The next minute he talked about Iris. The next minute he talked about Egypt, Egyptology. The next minute he talked about grace. The next minute, this guy was all over the place. He was nebulous or something, and I never really liked it. I enjoyed it to a certain extent, but I didn't like his format. And I'm here to create an opportunity for those who have given their heart, soul, mind, and strength to the lovable Lord Jesus Christ. I'm here to give you a lot of structure. It doesn't mean I'm not going to have any loosey-goosey Pentecostal lessons. I have some of those available. That's the way my earth dad used to preach. But I don't preach the way my earth dad did most of the time. My dad, he liked a lot of open-ended Bible teaching. 98% or so of my Bible teaching is going to be structured. So that's the way I like to roll. That's my style. So let me give you another example about how nice it is to have playlists and start reading through the Bible. And I've already done this. I want to do it again. Let's look at one of the most important words in the Bible, for example. Let's go to Matthew chapter 6, 5, and Matthew chapter 5, and let's look at Matthew chapter 5, verse 3. What's the first word there? It's blessed. Now, when I start reading through the Bible, we're going to take a lot of time and go through awfully slow. We're going to go through it at a very slow pace, okay? And let me give you an example of what's going to happen in the future here. I'm going to go to that word and we're going to say, blessed are the poor in spirit. Now, first I'm going to tell you what the word means and what the context is. And that's what we're going to do a lot, and I'm very happy to do that. A lot of people are going to be blessed by having this structure, okay? This delivery. In other words, Dr. Jeremiah here is going to I'm going to practice a lot of precision here. I'm not going to go heavy into predicate nominatives or objective relative pronouns. I'm not going to do that. I'm just talking about, in general, I'm going to go into a basic definition and a contextualism, and of course that deals with playlist 10. Playlist 10 emphasizes context and definitions. And let me give an example. Playlist number 10 is going to be extremely significant. It's going to be one of the main playlists that I'm going to refer to. Now, I'm not necessarily going to refer to the playlist. I'm going to refer to what's in the playlist. What's in the playlist is definitions, vocabulary, and contextualism. And let me give an example. We have the word blessed, which means eulogia, in 5:3. Now that's the first major teaching from the lion out of the tribe of Judah. Let's go back 1,000 years earlier to his great-great-grandfather and his first major teaching, which is David, the songwriter, king, part-time priest, do-it-all. What's the first word he uses? Blessed. So the first word he uses in his teachings and sharing what an Israelite thinks and what a person who loves God is going to talk about and think about, the master uses the same word to introduce his messages and his teachings also. Now, what does the word mean? Well, the word means in the New Testament, it means eulogia. In the Old Testament, the word blessed refers to being happy and having good conditions. Now, in order to explain what blessed are the poor in spirit means, I need to define for you what the context is of the word eulogia. Now, it gets more complicated in chapter 5 here of Matthew, because it means, blessed means what David meant in 19.1 there, 19.1.1. And what he's saying is he's saying good conditions are based upon this. Now, that's the contextualism of David. Good conditions are based upon this. Now, what did the master use? Does he say good conditions are the poor in spirit? No. It's deeper now. The master is introducing a more intellectual perspective of the word blessed. He's taking you to a little bit more of a Shakespearean. We gotta go to high school now. See, that's why I call this the adult ministry here. Everyone who basically watches me, now I can have teenagers watching me or something, but we will discuss, pardon me, some adult issues here. Not very many, and not freakish stuff, but it's basically, I have some abortion issue videos here. So in general, there's a warning out, for you parents, and that even though we don't do very, very little at all that's over the top, so to speak, in terms of discussing whoredom or details of slaughter or something. The point is that in general, this is an adult main sanctuary teaching. That's the whole point. Okay? Now, in this context, let's get back to a germane ideology here. Blessed means, in this particular instance, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. So now the word blessed is deeper now. It can still mean happy conditions. However, the master has taken it to a little bit higher level now. The happy conditions are posthumous now. The happy conditions in 19.1 are not presented from a posthumous presentation in the grammar. You see the point? Blessed now in 40.5.3 is what? It's a posthumous happy condition. Now, does it mean that the master has removed your bodily experience from being blessed by being poor in spirit? No. That's called wrong answer. What the master has done here is he has broadened the term out. Just like when you go to your dictionary, you might find a term that has 5, 6, 7 meanings. And it makes things complicated. But discipline demands that you take the time and you go through that. I just looked up the word fantastic because I wanted to use fantastic for for my playlist number 4, which is grace, mercy, peace, and rest, where I define and I explain to you what those words mean. Well, the word fantastic means surprisingly, alarmingly good, but it also means some other meanings there. All I wanted to use it for was surprisingly nice. That's all I wanted it for. I didn't want the other denotations. You see my point? The same thing goes for here. Kindergarten is over. And as an instructor of K through 12 in compulsory education here in the United States, I spent part of my life doing that. I'm here to tell you that the frustrations of basic grammar here in America and so forth for citizens, friends, people at the gym, it becomes a very frustrating experience, exasperating, whereby you're trying to explain very simple things and you're having difficulty doing so. The word exasperating comes to mind. You know, where are we going over this again? You know, are we doing, you know, just like right now, I'm just sharing with you the basic principle of knowing what a term means and what the context means, and then having difficulty getting past square one. That if you were a blessed T-shirt at the 99-cent store, which went to $1.25, which doesn't surprise me, the issue is this: is you put a blessed T-shirt on, but do you really understand what the blessed term means here in 40.5.3? Do you know what it means? And chances are most people who wear the blessed shirt, they don't know what it means. Now I'm here to rectify that situation, and I'm happy to do so. And the Lord knows that I want to please Him, number one, and I want to educate, number two. I don't mind doing either one of those performances at all. God's will for you is wisdom and knowledge. Now, let's get to the lesson germane. I wanted to give you an example of why these playlists are important and how we're going to start going through the Bible. And I just gave you case in point, one of the most important points in Christendom, especially now that we have the falling away, which means a lot of people are walking through the church, but they don't know the Master. That's the point. And one of the reasons is they're not well educated, and they only use education for financial and personal greed and so forth, or to harbor bitterness, to rejoice and glorify in being bitter all the time. They'll use their academic pursuits for those endeavors. Okay? Now, let's get to the lesson germane. An introduction to the New Covenant. What is this New Covenant, and what is Protestant Christianity? And what's really the main idea of Christian King James sound doctrine? Well, I'm going to give you one or two of the main ideas. I'm not going to give you all of them. It's impossible to give you, in a short time, all of the basics, all of the head ideas. But however, I can give you many of them, and we'll build on those. That's why I have 33 playlists and categories available for you, so that we can refer to those categories and we can get into precision. Okay? I'm going to stop right here. I wanted this to be a 2-video introduction. This is going to be a 3-video introduction, minimally now, dealing with what is the New Covenant, what is Protestant Christianity, okay? I'm going to share that with you. We're going to get into that more boots on the ground. I wanted to just get into a little bit of what's going on here, and I think that you're going to enjoy getting into this word of the living God. And Jesus is the living word. When you speak these words, it creates life. If you go from a dying man to a person that's going to live eternally, That means the words are living words. That's what it means, okay? I'll be right back. Maranatha.